Hello and welcome. My name is Jacqueline Michelle, and in this video, I'm going to teach you how to give yourself a very gentle womb massage. This is something that I love doing the first day of my period, sometimes even a day or two before, to really help the muscles in my lower abdomen, the muscles that are contracting around my womb, to really relax and soften and prepare for a really nice bleed. Another thing that I really love about this as well is that it gives you some time to just create an intentional space for you to be soft, connected to your breath, and tending to your body in general. So don't feel like you are limited to doing this massage only when you are bleeding or preparing to bleed. It's actually really nice to just be soft and gentle and massage any tension in your body in general. In this video, we're going to be focusing specifically on the abdomen and the psoas and diaphragmatic breathing. But do know that these techniques can be used all throughout the body. It can be used on the arms, on the breast, your glutes, your legs, your face, anywhere where there's muscles. And a couple props that we're going to be needing. Essentially, you're just going to be needing coconut oil or any type of oil that feels good for you, and 2 yoga blocks. If you don't have 2 yoga blocks handy, you're more than welcome to use pillows or anything else that can prop up your knees and support the weight of your legs. With that being said, we're gonna come down onto our backs in a butterfly-legged position. Beautiful. So once you have yourself in a supine butterfly position, soles of the feet are together, allowing the blocks or the pillows to be supported underneath your knees. Bringing your palms on to your belly, circling around the navel, or maybe even right on top of your womb. And just giving yourself an opportunity to fully arrive into this practice, into this moment. And that just simply means gently turning down the volume of your thoughts, or gently plucking them out of the mind one by one. And tuning into all of the sensations in your body right now. Allowing the muscles to slowly relax and soften, letting go of the jaw, the temples, and the eyebrows. Relaxing muscles that were unintentionally engaging. So relaxing the arms, relaxing the entire torso, and really allowing the breath to take up as much space in the diaphragm and the lungs. Relaxing your pelvic floor, so softening your anus, your vagina. Allowing the legs to get really heavy here and fully allowing their weight to be supported by the props beneath you. And letting go of anything in the feet. And we're just going to take a couple moments here to continue to tune into this softening, maybe even feeling the body beginning to get heavy and feeling the support of the earth beneath us. Knowing that in this moment we're entirely supported and there is nothing that we need to do, anything that we need to be. And breathing into that relaxation and maybe even granting yourself that permission fully to be with the breath and be with the body. No expectations, no demands. And we're gonna move into some diaphragmatic breathing. So we can think of our diaphragm as where we expand and contract for our breath, and our pelvic floor being a second diaphragm of ours. If we can tune into the subtlety of the expansion and the contraction of our muscles, you may be able to notice that as we inhale, we can feel the pelvic floor lower and open. And as we exhale, there's a gentle contraction and a lift. Now, many of us unintentionally practice reverse breathing or perhaps even diaphragmatic breathing, but are lacking a little bit of depth. So What we're going to begin to do now, before we move into the massage or anything deeper, we're just going to allow our breaths to be intentionally in union with the muscles in our body. So as you inhale, gently feeling the air coming into the upper lungs, the middle lungs, and the lower lungs. And as you exhale, noticing the deflation of the torso. As you inhale, you're noticing the rib cage expand from the left into the right, the belly beginning to rise up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, 360 degrees around the torso, the body contracts. We'll do one more breath here, just really focusing on the abdomen, the transverse abdominis. Inhale, seeing if you can sip in a little bit more air than you're accustomed to, really giving yourself permission to maybe even stretch the muscles from the inside. And as you exhale, gently letting the breath leave the body. Now we're going to bring our awareness down into the pelvic floor, into the muscles of our vagina, into the muscles of our anus, and maybe even into the lower abdomen as well. And as you inhale, I want you to begin to visualize the breath trickling all the way down, past the lungs, past your organs, and filling up your pelvic bowl from the inside, fully relaxing the muscles. And as you exhale, without consciously activating or engaging the muscles, just exhale and notice the gentle lift that happens in this portion of the body. So we're not doing a Kegel or trying to exercise anything. We're just noticing the natural ebb and flow. Inhale again, allowing your awareness, allowing your breath to pour all the way into the inside of the pelvic bowl, maybe even envisioning the breath circulating around the fallopian tubes, the ovaries, the uterus. And exhale. Maybe with this exhale, you visualize tension slowly dissipating through the body. And one more breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. And then we're going to bring our hands and just make a point of contact to our ribs. And turning in this to a sensual meditation of sorts. So bringing your awareness into the point of contact of the flat of the palm, and not only the skin that it's touching, but the bone that's underneath it as well. So feeling your rib cage. And then bringing your hands down to the hip bones, a couple of breaths here, noticing that point of contact, and being very mindful and aware of your skeletal structure. And then bring both the hands to the center, right in between the hip bones, onto the pubic mound, onto the pubic bone. And these are going to be our 5 points of contact that we're going to be circulating and maneuvering through. Oftentimes we think a lot about our muscles or our skin or our breath, but bringing awareness to our bones is a very grounding practice as well. Now we're going to bring our awareness into our muscles. So staying with that natural ebb and flow. Again, we're not forcing the breath to go deeper than it needs to. This is a very gentle, slow, relaxing practice. Just allowing the pelvic floor to soften, the abdomen to soften. We're going to reach for our oil now and generously apply it onto your entire abdomen. Even allowing this to be gentle and soft. So instead of just smacking it on your belly and trying to cover as much surface area as possible, really using the flat of your hands and the suppleness and softness of your belly to flow with one another. And just allowing this to be a directionless application. Just allowing the softness of the belly to receive the softness of the hands and the smoothness of the oil. Beautiful. And from here, we're going to slowly begin to now bring awareness into our muscles, starting with the transverse abdominis and really just relaxing any tension here, while also helping our awareness and our energy body bring the flow downwards to encourage and promote the flow of our menstrual blood, leaving the body as well. So now we're going to transition from our flat of the hands to the tips of our fingers, and we are going to start right in between the rib cage, right here over the diaphragm, and go straight down very slowly, circling around the navel and then back down into a single line until we meet the pubic bone. Then we're going to come back to the top, slightly separating the hands this time, and both of the hands going from each rib cage back down to the pubic bone. Staying with your breath, being mindful that all the muscles in the body are soft, relaxed, receptive. Still continuing to feel the body grow heavier and heavier onto the floor beneath you. And bringing the awareness into the muscles now. Maybe you're feeling a little bit of texture beneath the flesh. Maybe even feeling or noticing a couple air pockets. And continuing to move further and further away into the outskirts to where now the rib cage is coming to touch the hip bones. Beautiful. And once you get to the very outskirts, slowly begin to gently bring those lines in. The pelvic floor is soft, the breath is easy, the body is heavy. Relaxing any tension in the forehead, maybe even breathing in and around the skull to soften any thoughts. Allowing this to be a very thoughtless, mindless experience and complete permission to just be with the body. Once you come back into your center, we're going to bring both of the hands together and move from the right to the left. This time we're zigzagging the lines back and forth, almost as though we are interlacing lace onto a shoe. So back and forth from the hip bone to the rib cage or the pubic bone to the rib cage. Just allowing the body, letting it know that you're here. To soften, breathing into any tension, any cramping that you may be experiencing right now. And knowing that if you're continuing to soften the body, softening the breath, will help let the body pass any clots and ease through any tension as well. And then moving now from the left into the right. Allowing your exhales to be audible if that feels good, if it feels nourishing, but again, not forcing anything with the breath. and making it all the way to the left. Beautiful. And again with the flat of the palms, as we transition to the next massage, I'm going to apply a little bit more oil. Now we're going to move on to the psoas. Psoas and hip flexors are these muscles connecting the hip bones up and around into the glutes, down into the legs. We store a lot of tension here in general, and so it feels really good to nourish the surrounding muscles of the pelvic floor as well. So we worked with the transverse abdominis. We're relaxing and diaphragmatically breathing into the pelvic floor. And now we're just applying some oil onto the psoas. We're going to start with the right. And whatever feels natural to you, I like to use my thumbs, but if you want to stay with your fingers, or if you want to be more gentle and use the entire palm, you're more than welcome to, or maybe even using the knuckles, whatever feels good. And we're just going to intuitively massage the muscles here. So I'm going to ask that you just explore different directions, different pressures, different applications onto this part of the body. Maybe going back and forth, side to side, or just consistently moving in one direction. And having your legs in a butterfly position like we are right now is also helping the pelvic floor open in a very gentle and restorative way. And we're going to move to the other psoas, the other hip flexor. You may notice some nodules underneath this part of the body. One may have a little bit more than the other. My left side has a lot more than my right. So being gentle and noticing the texture, breathing into that as well. Beautiful. Just a couple moments, maybe massaging both sides now. Beautiful. Now we're going to bring our awareness to the pubic mound and out. So we're going to start at the pubic mound, and in opposite directions, the fingertips are going to come out onto the hip bones. Just opening up. Any sensations that we're having here, you can address this energetically, opening the intuition, the wisdom, the pleasure portal of your womb, or if you want to stay more grounded with this practice, just releasing any tension in the muscular system here. Staying in touch with your breath again, softening the entire body and growing heavy in the limbs. Beautiful. And we're going to move on to the next massage, which is the main massage. I do all of these smaller little introductions to, again, let my body know that, hey, I'm coming in for a more intense, for lack of a better word, or massage to help soften everything and bring energy down. And this is a really beautiful tantric exercise for the womb that I'm going to be teaching you here. So again, you can apply more oil if you need. And we're going to be moving over to the left in a circular motion throughout all of this. And the reason that we're going to be doing that is because it is the natural flow or the direction of the intestine. So we really want to support during this time the flow, the natural flow of what our intestines, our body is wanting to do. And simultaneously, we're supporting the energetic
consistency of that. Again, helping food, helping blood, helping energy go up and out of our body. So we're going to start over at the right rib cage and move in a circle, aiming to reach those 5 points. So from the left rib to the right rib, over to the left hip, down to the pubic bone, over to the right hip, and back up to the right rib. And I'm going to ask that you move slower than what you're accustomed to, really breathing into, acknowledging, loving all of the textures of your body, from the sharpness and the hardness of your bones to the softness of your flesh, of your belly, and any ridges, textures that are coming from the muscles. Beautiful, keep going. Once you get back up to the right rib cage, we're going to slowly begin to circle this spiral in. So the spiral is slowly getting smaller. And then again, a sensual meditation. So your meditation, your point of focus being where the parts of your body are making contact. Not only externally, not only bringing awareness to the fingers feeling the belly and the belly feeling the fingers, but what are you internally feeling as well? What are the muscles feeling, the organs feeling, the sensation and the depth of your breath? Really allowing yourself to be incredibly present with this somatic experience, this gentle embodiment practice. Once you get to the navel, we're going to continue spiraling to the left. Now slowly opening that spiral up. Allowing the breath to continue to be soft. Any noises that want to accompany you, perhaps some moans or groans or audible exhales. And I'm going to encourage you to do this spiral maybe 2 or 3 more times on your own. And same with all of the massages that we did. Once you understand the gist or the techniques, really allowing yourself to do them until it feels complete. So not necessarily counting to a particular number, but allowing your body or your muscles to tell you, okay, I'm ready to move on to the next technique, or I feel very complete with this treatment. And circling back up to the 5 points of contact. And I will say as well that while you're doing this massage, air or gas or bloating, you're relieving all of this too. So I'm going to encourage that everything and anything that is flowing downwards from your body, to release it, to let the body clear itself out, trust its wisdom, its decisions, and its natural bodily functions, without any shame or embarrassment. Circling around the 5 points once more. Finally coming up to the top of the rib cage, we can end with the fingers lining down to the rib cage a couple times, maybe even using the knuckles to open up this part of the body. Beautiful. Gently placing your hands onto your body once more. You can have them on your breasts or on your navel, your yoni, whatever feels good. And taking a couple relaxing breaths, close down this practice. Noticing just the subtle groundedness that you may be feeling. Maybe there's a tinge of arousal if I'm breathing down into your pelvic floor for extended periods of time. Maybe the tension has relieved itself a little bit. Maybe you feel closer to your cycle. And maybe there's still a lot of cramps and a lot of tension in the body. And if that's okay, if that's happening, that's okay too. You still did the practice correctly. There's no wrong way to connect to your body. I'm going to invite you to just stay here for a couple moments in stillness, feeling the full weight of the body, the full openness of the pelvic floor, the muscles, the breath. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me, for tending to your body, for honoring your cycle. Much love and enjoy.